Facial attractiveness is an attribute that conveys an evolutionary advantage in the form of increased mating success, and in today's modern world, being attractive has even more benefits in terms of earning potential and longevity. Although it may not sound fair, it is a well-known fact that attractive people have considerable advantage in all fields due to the positive impression effect, or the so-called halo effect, that they have on the people around them. We know facial attractiveness depends on various factors like facial symmetry and proportion, but it may surprise you to know that even your emotional state can have a significant effect on your beauty. This fact can be beneficial to just about everyone, as although not every factor that determines beauty is modifiable, we can definitely alter our facial expressions to go up the attractiveness ladder. I'm not referring to the run-of-the-mill BuzzFeed advice where you're told to just smile more. Depending on how attractive you are, smiling less and appearing more aloof may actually have a better effect, as the research shows, but more on that in a bit. From a Sutherland, Young and Rhodes 2017 paper, we know that a positive expression, like a smile, increases the attractiveness of the person and makes them seem more trustworthy, regardless of their true intentions. What you may not know, however, is that a neutral facial expression performs almost as well, and in reality, smiling only produces a small benefit, if any. Smiling when you're significantly below average in looks will still lift your spirits, which is beneficial, but it won't necessarily incline others to feel any more positively about you or treat you differently, despite what feel-good articles may tell you. From the results, angry or scowling faces were seen as more dominant, which is expected. But again, neutral faces performed a very close second. Appearing dominant facially is very important for men who are constantly competing with each other, especially at work. Having a permanently angry facial expression won't earn you more respect if you're already unintimidating, but sometimes having a neutral reaction that's expressionless is actually more genuine and attractive. You don't need to smile all the time to appear attractive. Neutral expressions can work just as well, especially for the less attractive faces. On the corollary, it introduces another question. How big of a benefit are your facial expressions to average or even unattractive faces? As it turns out, not a whole lot. In last week's video, we looked at Angrili et al.'s paper where negative expressions of anger were seen as attractive on already facially attractive faces. When someone you have a crush on reacts poorly with the waiter that's serving your food, you tend to miss the red flags. When it's someone you're not attracted to, the authors suggested that it has the opposite effect, where you block it out or even react negatively. From Lindeberg et al.'s 2019 paper, a happy face advantage emerged for the attractive females but not for the unattractive ones. Corresponding results were also found in the error rates for male faces. Smiles are a multiplier for attractiveness, and it does not work additively. Mainstream advice that tells you otherwise, and to just smile more, is a band-aid solution that fails to acknowledge the pretty privilege bias that's inherent in all of us. As for the happy face advantage, it refers to a happy face being recognized as happy much faster than an angry face is recognized as angry. This ability to perceive emotions on attractive faces much faster is what gives them their advantage in being able to command extra attention from others. From the findings, faces rated from 1 to 7 on the Likert scale showed a much bigger change for the attractive faces when going from negative to positive emotions than for the unattractive ones. As a channel and brand, we've always strived to provide research and advice for people of all attractiveness ranges, rather than general advice that only works for attractive people. While smiling will boost your attractiveness, if you don't feel like it or it's not genuine, do not feel pressured to do so. So this begs the question, why do we put on a fake smile? In the Anglosphere, the main reason is cultural. Smiling is an important social cue that conveys relatability and understanding. When your date cracks an off-color joke, you smile to ease the tension. When meeting someone for the first time, you smile to indicate that you're trustworthy and warm. This form of inauthentic communication is not the same everywhere. In Eastern Europe, smiling is much less common, with the saying, laughing for no reason is a sign of foolishness. But that doesn't mean that they're unhappy, it's just a cultural difference. When taking photos, we often give it a big, cheesy smile to imitate the feeling of having a good time. But if you're actually having a good time, Why would you need to be asked to pose for a smile? Different people express happiness, or more importantly, comfort in their own skin in different ways. The issue isn't with smiling per se, but being told you would look prettier if you smiled more is incredibly frustrating because some faces and aesthetics look better when serious, especially in print and photography. Photographers in the modeling industry understand this concept very well. For couture runway shows, the atmosphere is serious and the models have a neutral to stern pose to appear aloof and indifferent. We've covered a similar concept in our Instagram vs. reality special on the Kardashians, the Kardashian effect, where the entire clan poses in the same stern, greater than thou way to sell their exclusivity and worth. In contrast, for something much more fun and playful, like Victoria's Secret, the atmosphere is much more relaxed with live performances and smiles all around to bring the audience in. The focus isn't on the product, but the personality that the product can bring out. When the research says that a smile is used to convey trustworthiness, it really means to bring the receiver in. When you don't smile, it's cold and standoffish, creating an us versus them mentality. Both can create attraction, and both can be attractive in their own rights, but one suits a certain face type and aesthetic more than the other. In general, people connect to other people whose emotions they can understand, and the easiest emotion to understand is happiness. While our initial questions were on smiling and attraction, being happy in general is a huge part in preserving skin texture, which, as we've covered in our other videos, influences attractiveness. Studies have found that emotion can affect a person's skin texture and composition by lowering the amount of collagen and elastin. Loss of these vital skin proteins can make a person prone to develop unattractive facial lines and early onset wrinkles. A chronically angry or unhappy face is often clearly distinguishable from multiple visible and permanent changes on the face, as these people tend to develop baggy under eyes, frown lines between the eyebrows, and even crow's feet under the eyes. These lines are a consequence of decreased protein and certain repeated facial expressions such as squinting the eyes, frowning, and pursing the lip. Being mindful of your expressions and mental state will keep your skin smoother in the long run. Also, those suffering from depression tend to be obese due to their habit of consuming a sugar-rich diet to experience a temporary surge in dopamine. A landmark study from 1945 found a direct correlation between aging and consumption of sugar due to the formation of glycated collagen, which accelerates the aging process of the skin, and then thus leading to early onset wrinkles, saggy skin, and an overall dull skin appearance. To summarize, if you're attractive, then smiling a lot will benefit you more so than others. It's just a larger multiplier. However, having a neutral facial expression is also not a bad thing. We often get emails from viewers complaining about their RBF, and the issue isn't in the face itself, because to us it looks perfectly normal, but instead it's in how the Anglosphere interprets neutral expressions as negative. We're encouraged to smile as a tool of non-verbal communication in the same vein that we open conversations with "How are you?" or "How you doing?" Some faces do look better with a stern or serious expression, while others benefit more from a smile. People with puffy cheeks feel conscious about smiling as it makes their face look overly round. Those with lean cheeks prefer to smile more to emphasize their strong lower third. Smiling is just one of the many facial expressions possible, but it isn't the best pose for every face. Being happy, on the other hand, is a completely different topic, and it's necessary to keep your skin and health in check for much longer.